Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Meister Tarot. My name is Libby, and I'd like to acknowledge the Warramai First Nations people of this area. So, thank you for joining me. What I want to have a look at today, as promised yesterday, the Weisselberg testifying at Trump's October Trump org trial, and all sorts of things. We'll see where it leads today. So, we'll start with that. Weisselberg at the Trump org trial in October. So as part of his plea deal to get off ever so lightly for his tax evasion case that he was found guilty of, just a bit of a revamp. Weisselberg was the chief financial officer for Trump org. He was also he was employed by Donald Trump's father many years ago because of allegedly entertainment only his mob ability to process finances. I have asked in the past how many sets of books there actually were, and I believe the answer was around 3 sets of actual books. One for the IRS, one for the banks, and one that was the actual books. So he, as part of his plea deal for his tax evasion case, he has agreed apparently to testify at Trump org, and because it's part of a plea deal, he can't plead the fifth at any time at all. So I'm just going to have a little bit of an in-depth look to see how that goes. The thing is, it's against Trump org. It's not against Donald Trump himself. However, Donald Trump and I believe the 2 oldest kids are directors of Trump org, so it will affect them directly. The majority of their assets are held, jumped out at me, are held in the Trump org organisation. So properties, estates, Mar-a-Lago, for example, the Trump brand name, etc., etc. So let's have a look. How do we word this? Weisselberg, tell me about Weisselberg's testimony at the Trump org fraud case trial. Tell me about Weisselberg's testimony at the Trump org trial in October. The Trump org trial in October, using my Golden Universal Tarot because it's all about the money. Trump org trial in October. Weisselberg, Trump org trial in October. Come on, bring them together, Meister. Trump org trial in October. Thank you. If you're learning tarot, you'll find as you shuffle there's a certain feel to the cards when they're ready. There's a certain feel to the cards if you've got the wrong deck. Okay, right, start away. Signifier card, 4 of Swords, wounded in retreat, basically beaten off the battlefield, but wounded by the truth. So this is the testimony for the Trump org trial. This is not Weisselberg himself. So Trump org is going to find itself quite severely wounded, challenged by Russia. The challenge is going to be information about Russia coming out. Wow, okay, didn't expect that straight away, but guaranteed when talking about Donald Trump's finances and Trump org, Russia always comes into the play for obvious reasons, but obvious reasons we'll find out. Foundation of the reading, the 4 of Cups, which is about, this is with Weisselberg. He, as part of his plea deal, he was presented with an offer. He's not happy with the offer. It's not what he would have preferred, but he is taking it, so that he took it So that offer, which is the foundation of his testimony to Trump Org, is this offer of reduced jail time in exchange for, and he cannot plead the fifth. So that'll be interesting. So this is the offer that Weisselberg took in the past. Out in the cold financially, but finances have led him to be discarded basically. But also this is my card for moral corruption. In the past, the moral corruption, Weisselberg, as I said, he worked for Donald Trump's father. He was known as a mob finance worker, manipulator, allegedly. And that's why he was employed, because his skill at money laundering, covering up finances, etc. Oh dear, so this is a bit of a wild ride that they're all on at the moment. Okay, crowning the reading is the investigators. Powerful truth coming forward. They know what questions they need to ask, and they know what the answers are going to be. They just need to get the answers confirmed. And this is about the just looking at this, imagine being interrogated by that. So that's Weisselberg's going to find himself interrogated by this. And what it is about the giving and receiving of money, money laundering, bribery money, blackmail money, grifting, you name it. It's going to be about the money moving back and forward externally. Okay, just the smug merchant here, which is externally, and to me, if you looking at this card, I was immediately drawn to it being Trump himself, as being nobody can touch me, I'm fine, I've got my cups all lined up in a row, I'll be right, she'll be right, externally. But it is also, okay, thank you, Meister. He's telling me it's also about the prosecution, have got their cups all lined up in a row in regards to the relationships that were involved in this, and there's a lot of cups there. We've got 9 cups there. So this is about also about the investigators. Yes, thank you. This is the investigators. Sorry, I was drawn to Trump because of the look of the slovenly figure in front, but this is externally. They've got all their ducks lined up, all their relationships sorted out. They know what information they need to get. Internally, there is going to be information about the relationships brought forward. This is the Weisselberg testimony. Hopes and fears, it is the Wheel of Fortune. Karma's going to come and bite them all on the bum, those that are deserving of such, and it is about the rising and falling of fortunes. Times are a-changing. Outcome, yeah, very powerful messaging coming forward to bring forward a new start. There's a lot of anxiety going around from Weisselberg and those involved in regards to what went on in the past. In regards to working hard, okay, this is Weisselberg himself. He's working diligently away, skillfully on the money situation, but I'm also drawn to, as a reader pointed out to me once, the gate in the background with the points on top. So he's working diligently, spilling the financial beans to stay out of prison, but there's a lot of anxiety about what went on in the past. He is the whistleblower, and he is bringing forward this sort of truth. So that's Weisselberg's testimony. I don't think he's going to hold back, actually. He's got nothing to lose, but he also, with his plea deal, they know what they're after. If he holds back, they will know, and the threat of him spending his Rest of his life in prison is not an option he's looking forward to. So, I don't think I'll have a quick look. How's Weisselberg's testimony going to affect Ivanka, Don Jr. and Eric as directors of the company? I know already that Trump's going to lose everything, be penniless. I've seen him in a style of a nursing home, in a vinyl armchair, drooling away, muttering about how unfair everything is, friendless, penniless, totally irrelevant. Now, whether that is a nursing home, feels like a big wide corridor with a large window, or whether it's him spending his last days in house arrest in one of his... trying to think where that would be. Because if he loses, he'll lose the golf courses. He'll lose Mar-a-Lago. Okay, tell me about how the younger, I mean, you say junior, but goodness me, they're not young. They're not kids anymore. Well into their 30s, 40s possibly. Tell me about Weisselberg's testimony and its effect on the younger Trumps. I'd be changing my name if I was one of the grandkiddies. Okay, let's have a look. Seems the name will be trash. Okay, the families, it's all about the families. Investigation, manipulation. Ooh, 3 major arcana. The truth coming forward very quickly, tied to the devil. Justice. What have we got here? Message being brought forward, and overseas. Reaping what you sow. Oh, sorry, I'll go through these in a minute because they just keep going on me. Okay. Right. How is it going to affect the kids? Probably should have done a full spread on this. The families. This is all about how's it affecting the kids. It's about the families themselves. They are feeling isolated. They are feeling like they are under investigation. They are feeling like they are being looked at a bit too intently in regards to their manipulation. They had all the tools at their avail and they used them poorly, for want of a way of putting it. Reminds me of an Indiana Jones movie when they had to, the first one, when they had to choose the Holy Grail. Was it the first one? Can't remember. Choose the Holy Grail to drink from, and the knight says to the greedy leader who chose the jewel-encrusted gold cup and ended up melting away, he chose poorly. And yes, the children chose to use their tools poorly. They are now seeing things from a different point of view and realising that they aren't protected by Daddy as they once were, as this truth comes forward. And it is going to come forward for them very quickly. There's going to be a lot of information that's going to come forward in regards to this devil energy, this devil process that they were all involved in. Now, whether they knew or not they were involved in it, but they found themselves chained to their father's charisma, his power, the toxicity of money, of endless money. They found themselves chained to this. Their actions are going to have consequences, and justice is going to be brought forward. There is going to be a message about this is about plans coming to fruition. plans coming to fruition, what ship to bring in, looking overseas, looking towards the future. Okay, thank you, Meister. The message that they've got is they're now looking towards the future and saving themselves as they realise they are reaping what they sowed. There will be consequences in regards to this. They're going to find themselves, they're going to lose a lot of their wealth, they're going to find themselves hemmed in, and it was all to do with their contracts and agreements, which is the Trump org, their relationships. We have the lawmakers at the base bringing forward a message in regards to this money laundering, grifting of the past. So it's not devastating, there's no tower, there's no complete and utter downfall, but the kids are going to find themselves, thank you, the word that sprung to mind was cast adrift for the first time in their lives. They're actually going to be, even though Trump is still there, it's like the patriarch is going to be removed from the family, and they are going to find themselves at the so-called top level of their own families now. And it's new ground for them. They don't know how to handle it. Okay, so that's going to be interesting. Right, let's have a look at Donald Trump himself. Now, I want to have a deeper dive look into Putin, but I get the feeling that that's going to be an entire... Because I had a look at Putin at the beginning of the month, and I'm going to re-watch that video and have a deeper dive into what's actually going on. It was long enough as it was, but just really analyse what's going on. But not today, that will possibly be tomorrow. I want to have a look at, with Donald Trump, he had 3 passports removed from Mar-a-Lago. 1 was expired and 2 were still current apparently. And then the FBI returned them, but there were 2 expired when they returned them. Now, remembering that, you do not own your passport. The government owns your passport, and it can revoke a passport at any time. So the 3 types of passport he could have had were 2 types of diplomatic immunity ones, and then what were they? There was a diplomatic immunity black, a diplomatic immunity blue, a foreign government maroon, and a blue citizen. Passports are all the ones that they are entitled to. I suspect the 2 that are now expired may have been the diplomatic government ones, diplomatic passports, and he now has just the foreign government, which he's entitled to as a past president. So tell me, was that 1 passport, we don't know which one it was, cancelled so that he could not get overseas immunity? Now remember, with diplomatic passports, they have immunity from prosecution from the legal systems in other countries. So tell me, was the passport that was cancelled because it provided diplomatic immunity? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Using my tripping weight tarot, was the passport that was cancelled because it's provided diplomatic immunity? Okay, an offer being brought forward, also known in some circles as the false night, of bringing forward a false offer. Let's see where it leads us. The Page of Wands. Okay, let's see what we've got here. The story keeps going on us, doesn't it? could keep going with those cards. They're telling a real story here. Knight of Cups. Okay. So there is it is about a relationship being brought forward, sometimes known as the romantic knight, but it is an offer it is an offer being brought forward. Page of Wands, there was a message in regards to his family. This is how Trump sees himself, the emperor, the patriarchal, my way or the highway, but he also has this devil energy. Inevitable ending, a call to arms, a bombshell to be exposed, information. She's got something in her cup that is to be revealed, actions and consequences and justice and the truth coming out. So what I'm getting here is that it was a yes, and that we are going to hear that was the reason why. The reason I say yes is that Major Arcana, so we've got the Major Arcana here, are very loudly truth, yes cards. Sorry, Major Arcana are the yes cards. And then we have all these, the only one that's not a court card is this particular card, which is about the family. So I think what it was that the family were potentially, with Trump going to move as a whole, and that's now been, through justice and the awareness of the truth, they realised that this was going to happen and they've removed his passport. So I'm going to say that that's a yes. That was the reason why they cancelled that. It's not entirely clear because we probably will never find out, but that's what I'm getting. So if that's the case, pardon me, still got this frog in my throat. Change of season, windy weather, all that jazz. So that being said, is that the reason why Trump cancelled his trip to Ireland? Now, the trip to Ireland was down for the 27th of August, so that's, end of this week. Ireland is known to be a bit blasé when it comes to, it does have agreements with other countries to return criminals, etc., but it's not known to, be in a hurry and actually abide by that agreement. So, I'm going to ask fairly clearly, did Trump cancel his trip to Ireland because he lost his diplomatic immunity? Because remembering he has a resort over there as well, did Trump cancel his plan to head overseas? Is been retreated, has been knocked on the head and retreated. So, a bit slippery these cards. My tripping weight tarot. Tell me, was Trump's trip to Ireland cancelled because he no longer had diplomatic immunity? Was Trump's trip to Ireland cancelled because he no longer has diplomatic immunity? I need to use these cards more to get rid of the shine on them, so they're not quite so slippery. Did Trump cancel his trip to Ireland because he no longer had diplomatic immunity? Let's have a look. Yep. Do I need to go any further? Yep. That was the truth. He's finding himself out in the cold. He is looking still for an overseas solution. So, yeah, that's a strong yes, with the sword of truth below it. His plan, that was his plan, but it's now in complete disarray. allegedly entertainment only. He is looking for other options. However, national security, protection is foiling what he has planned. On the base, the High Priestess, he had a hidden agenda that hasn't been revealed, and there is a bombshell information that's going to come out in regards to that. So yeah, I'm getting pretty strongly there that was his plan. While he had diplomatic immunity, he was out of here. Possibly no intention to come back whatsoever. Okay, let's have a look at Mr. Flip-Flop Graham testifying in Georgia. So all his attempts to put off testifying have been hit on the head by the lawmakers. I think he's going to keep trying to, I mean, goodness me, unless you've got something to hide. So obviously he's got something to hide. I have read on Lindsey Graham in the past where I don't see him completing his term. But let's have a look at Georgia. He's not up for election for, another 5 years or 4 years or something like that. Another quite a while. But I don't see him completing his term. I don't see Mitch McConnell completing his term either. Oh, speaking of that, the latest news. Mitch and Donna are having an argy-bargy in that Mitch is bagging the Republican choices for the midterms that are Trumpsters, and Trump's ripping into Mitch about that. At the same time, he's saying, Mitch, you should be financially supporting them, and oh goodness me, push and shove and back and forth between those two. What Trump fails to remember is that Mitch McConnell has been in politics since before I was born. Apparently his first venture in politics was in 1968, before I was born. Think back to the time, what was 1968? Woodstock hadn't even happened. Jonas Joplin was still alive. The Beatles were recording one of their albums. And apparently he got elected to the Senate in 85. I was still in school. Trump is sort of trying to play Mitch, but Mitch is, I don't like him, don't like any of his policies. I think he's a complete rat in the drain. He's absolutely destroyed Kentucky, but he is street smart, savvy politically, and Trump is underestimating him. Anyhow, what are we doing? Lindsey Graham. Tell me about Lindsey Graham testifying in Georgia. What's going to happen with Lindsey Graham testifying in Georgia? Lindsey Graham in Georgia, my mystical manga cards, which I use for political readings. Oh, do I need to go any further with this one either? It's going to be the ruin of him. It is going to be the ruin. He is going to have some little semblance of achievement, but no, it's loss, ruin, challenged by the truth. Don't know that I need to go any further. Tower card. Tower is the foundation. This is the downfall of Lindsey Graham. This is in the past, bringing forward an offer. So I think he's tried to placate and bring forward an offer to say, oh look, I can give you this information. They've said, sorry, we don't need it. You're too late. We have what we need. Crowning King of Cups, which is the current administration, but it's also, don't think it's so much Biden administration as it's a calm, diplomatic, cool, masculine figurehead leader. So whether these the process that he's going to go through. He is going to face one of the prosecutors that's just going to just calmly destroy him. Immediate future. Bringing forward a message of truth, but also known as a whistleblower, spy in the camp. Externally, well, you don't get more explicit than that, really. It's the end. This is the end for Lindsay Graham, and I think he knows it, which is why he's fighting it so hard. Internally, he knows it's to do with the money laundering, the fraud, the working together behind the scenes in a devious manner, and getting paid for it. He knows that's what it's about. Hopes and fears. He's going to have to defend himself. He's going to be embattled. There are new boundaries going to be set in regards to this. King of Swords, the investigators, Wheel of Fortune, karma biting you on the backside, and fortunes rising and falling. Yeah, doesn't look good for young Lindsay when you've got the three of the major cards being loss, tower moment, death, destruction and death. Sorry, young Lindsay. He knows it, which is why he's fighting so hard not to go. Okay, what I'm going to have a look at now. Okay, we've got, so in Wyoming, I'll finish up with this, it's a bit of a light one. Wyoming, okay, Harriet Hageman beat Liz Cheney in the primaries, which was totally expected. She's a bit of a scary, soulless looking thing, Harriet. Her Democratic opponent will be a First Nations person of the Americas, Lynette Grey Bull, and I just want to have a quick look to see how they will go against each other. Yeah, I'm going to use my political cards I'll just use my political cards. He's telling me, because I was going to read from Harriet Hageman's point of view, but I'm going to change that to Lynette Greybull. How is Lynette Greybull going to go in the Wyoming midterms? Got a card flipped over there. Where was that? There, a couple of them. Right, get rid of those. Okay. How will Lynette Greybull? Tomorrow I want to have a look at Putin. I also want to have a look at some stage this week if nothing dramatic pops up in the next few days. The Mueller report, is it going to make a comeback? Have a little bit of an in-depth look at that one. And I want to have a look at the Khashoggi. Was he killed by the Saudis because he was on the trail of Trump selling secrets to the Saudis? I'll have a look at that as well. That's going to be a heavy reading. But in the meantime, how is Lynette Greybull going to fare in the Wyoming midterms? Remembering that Wyoming is a red through and through state. Red through and through. How is Lynette Greybull, First Nations, North American, going to go in the Wyoming midterms? Thank you. Oh, okay. Not the card I wanted to see. So we've got this devil energy. So I think she's just really up against it. Wyoming itself is for whatever reason, against its own best interests, and I don't understand why these states continue to vote for representatives who are not looking after the interests of the people of the state. They're only looking after their own self-interests. But Wyoming is chained to this devil energy of Republican, rather than the toxic, the power, the lies, the greed, which is not in the best interests of the state itself. Challenged by the Queen of Swords, Lynette Greybull. That's what I've been told. This is her. Powerful, intelligent, wise, truthful, is overlooking her. If I say overlooking her realm, she's not doing it in a authoritarian way. She's just looking at what she can bring for the sake of the people of Wyoming. And I'm drawn to this outstretched hand where she is being asked, please give me a chance. Let me show you what you can be, is what I'm getting from that card. The power of the eagle overhead. Yeah. Base. Page of Pentacles. Please support her financially. This is about dreaming big and working hard to make those dreams happen. This is about potential opportunities. This is about building skills and moving forward. This is about, holds so much possibilities, but it is only a page. It is about the possibilities for Wyoming, and she's asking for an opportunity for Wyoming to share in those possibilities. But I also am drawn to the fact that it is a page of Pentacles, which is finances. So if you have a spare $5, please donate to her campaign fund if you can afford it. I feel like a lot of you are stretched. This is in the past. This is about walking away from what is no longer working for you, but it is very much about the squirrel stealing the cup from under the eye of the dragon. So it's about new opportunities, small glimmers of opportunities in the face of this dragon energy. And this is what you're being presented with now. This is what is here now, because this is in the past. There is this opportunity to move forward, to step forward. Crowning the reading, the Five of Pentacles. Moral corruption. This is what she's up against. Moral corruption. Potential future. Ten of Pentacles. Wyoming is an intergenerational Republican. Even if the Republican Party is not the Republican Party that their grandparents and parents voted for, they are very much rusted on, and it is intergenerational. So that's the immediate future. However, externally, we have the world, which is about a call to arms and a culmination. It is about unity of diversity. It is about bringing together everything that has happened and culminating it into a whole. Internally, my Boudica card. She is a strong woman. She is like the Stacey Abrams of Wyoming. She is relentless. She's not going to give up. She's bringing a light to the state, whether they're ready to accept it or not. She may not win this round. She may be like Stacey Abrams, and there are bigger things for her. Hopes and fears, the moon. It is literally a battle of good versus evil. Outcome, High Priestess. There is something yet to be revealed that we don't know about yet. Nine of Swords. Great anxiety. Great anxiety, stabbed in the back. Not yet dead, but King of Swords, investigation, truth coming forward. Six of Pentacles, giving and receiving help. Ace of Pentacles, new beginning. Okay, I actually don't mind this outcome at all. At all. So I'm not predicting one way or the other, but there is something here that is yet to be revealed that causes great anxiety. However, it will be investigated, there will be help given, and we have this new start for Lynette Greybull in Wyoming. So if we have a look at it, there is this moral corruption sitting next to this something to be revealed, and then the investigation, the giving and receiving help, and the new start. So I'm wondering whether again there's going to be some voter fraud going on. Funny how a particular party always claims voter fraud, and yet they're the ones that are always caught up. When the investigations take place, they're the ones that are always found out to be actually frauding. It's not clear cut because there is something devious going on behind the scenes there. But energy's out to Lynette. As I said, donate if you can. Really feel like she's going to be a powerful force in Wyoming. If she doesn't get through this time due to this moral corruption, devious forces behind the scene, this moon card, then she's not going away. Okay, thank you for joining me, and I shall catch you tomorrow for a bit of a heavy one, unless something dramatic happens in the meantime. So take care, look after yourselves, and love to you all. Bye-bye.